Yossi Mekelberg is a professor of international relations and associate fellow of the MENA program at Chatham House. He joins me now live from London. Thank you very much, Professor, for joining us here on TRT World. There is nothing surprising about this latest escalation, is there?
Hello, thanks. Thank you for having me. No, there is no surprise about the escalation itself, but not the way that it came to an end. I think we are in a situation in which events will dictate escalation. In this case, is the tragic death of hunger striker, Mr. Adnan. And of course, it leads to upset among Palestinians. So they respond, and then Israeli respond in kind with bombing Gaza. But it's obvious that none of the sides is interested in escalation. In a way, to get to a point in the last 2 years, since the last flare-up, the big flare-up of 2021, that they are sort of satisfied with the status quo. So from time to time, they will express, what they want one towards the other side, that will try to break for a day or two the status quo, but then will reach a truce very quickly.
Right, but many would say that his death was a result of human rights abuses that happened inside Israeli prisons. So I wonder, what is your opinion on that? Do you think human rights abuses are an ongoing concern? And do you think Adnan's death will draw more attention to this issue and lead to some sort of reforms in the Israeli prison system?
So the occupation itself is an abuse of human rights. Palestinian human rights are abused on a daily basis. That's the framework of what we are talking about and what we are discussing. And unless there is an end to the Israeli-Palestine conflict and end of the occupation, sadly, violation and abuse of human rights occur on a daily basis. Within this context, of course, this is the issue of the prisoners, how they are treated, the condition of prisoners. And those are very difficult conditions. And this is part of the ongoing discussion of improving the condition of the prisoner. Israel would argue those are convicted terrorists, and as a result, the conditions are the conditions as you expect in prison. Many of them, but those are not criminals as such. Those are political prisoners that committed acts of terrorism, some of them. And as a result of it, there is an ongoing discussion also not to exacerbate their condition, because the position, the status of political prisoners in the Palestinian society is such that anything that happens to them will cause escalation in the relationship.
Right, and as you said, this is very much related to the bigger picture, which is the conflict between Israel and Palestine. I wonder what you think about this. This conflict has been described as intractable, with both sides deeply entrenched in their positions. Do you believe there is room for compromise at this point? And if so, what concessions might be required from both sides to reach a lasting peace agreement?
Well, there is room for compromise, and there is a room to go back and talk about the values that actually can establish a peace agreement between the two, based on the two-stage recognition of the right of self-determination of the Palestinians, that every human being between the Jordan River and the Mediterranean Sea will enjoy the same level of security, the same human, political, and civil rights. This should be the guiding lines for everyone, and from then to draw an agreement. Now, there is a room for compromise to achieve it. If you ask me if there are the leaderships right now that can reach something against, or an interest in the international community to put pressure on the sides to reach such an agreement, sadly, the answer is no.
All right, Professor Yossi Mekelberg, it's always a pleasure talking to you, sir. Thank you very much for taking out the time.
Thank you.